what was his name? The
Trapped Anonymous.
Is that the guy that talks slow? Sorry. he does. He was like, so tell me, what happened with...
He just real laid back. You know, he do harsh crimes. Like, he do harsh stories. Like, I asked him, like, how do you sleep at night doing stories like this?
So when you did the interview with him, you mentioned you got totally ripped off. Like, people came into your house.
Yeah, the same girls.
Yeah.
Came in my house, robbed me blind. That wasn't the first time I got robbed. I done been robbed 4 times. One time we were at a gas station and I was sitting I had a brand new BMW and we pulled in a park. It was me and I was about to say her name. You got to be careful because, yeah. Vlad said the other people's name on his show. I'm like, dude, you can't be. He's like, I said it. I said, yeah, that's true. But anyway, we pulled in a park and the guy was like, you have white smoke coming from your BMW. So to this day, I don't pull into no parks. I back in parks. He was like, you have white smoke coming from your BMW. So we meet some guy to sell him a Rolex, a Breitling watch. The watch was probably like $40K. So we got out the car, us green beans, we got out the car. He like, put your hands up.
I can't believe y'all got out of the car.
Right.
Right.
Give us everything. Gave him everything. He took everything. He didn't take the truck, but he took everything, our purses.
People, let that be a lesson to you. This is how the scammers get you. They'll tell you something's wrong with your car. When you pull over and get out, it's a stick up, or they'll hit your car, tap it, you're at a red light. And of course, you're going to want to get out and see what they did to your car while you tripping. But as soon as you get out the car, here come the pew-pews. It's a stick up.
The watch, all that.
Be careful.
You got robbed a couple more times?
Yeah, I got robbed. Somebody broke in my house. They think I don't know who it was, but I know who it was. They was looking for the diamonds that got when I got arrested from Boston, Massachusetts. They was looking for those diamonds.
Okay.
Then another incident happened. Person think I don't know. Like I'm still cool with one of the people. Yeah, I'm still cool with them to this day. But I definitely know it was them. Like know. But yeah,
you better than me.
That's why I choose. I'm cool with people. I'm cool with them, but I just don't trust. Like, trust comes slim.
Mm-hmm. There's a guy who worked with a task force, right? I grew up with him, know him, everything. And I don't have a problem. Like, I don't have a problem with him. Like, he cooperated because I've been arrested a few times. But, like, I've had, he cooperated. And this isn't Eric. Eric also cooperated. But we've never talked about it. We've gone to dinner. We hang out. And I don't know if they're thinking he doesn't know. But like I got the Freedom of Information Act. We've never had, we've never had and I wouldn't care. And I feel like they wouldn't care,
But it's like, how could you do somebody like that? Like a person who looked out for you, who was there for you. Like, not only did you rob me, but you didn't even look out for my children while I was incarcerated. Like, how do you live with yourself? Like, I done did some fucked up shit. Excuse my French. I done did some messed up stuff too myself. Like, I done did some stuff too, but it's like at the end of the day, like your guilt kick in. Like you can't, you don't live. You can't. You gotta admit your wrongs. Like, I apologize. I'm sorry. Like, I didn't know what I was thinking. Like, I was desperate. Like,
No,
like,
I don't think they think that at all. Nope. Because listen,
I got a conscience. My conscience. I don't like to look over my shoulder no more.
On my indictment for this, for this crime, the one where I went to prison, there's 12 people I think it's 12 people all of them cooperate against me. All of them.
Of course they did.
So when I got arrested, I cooperated against them, but it's too late.
Yeah.
They've already cooperated against me. There's nothing I can do.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
So, I'm doing everything I can. I'm trying to let's wrap this up. Let's get these fuckers. We'll all be in here together.
Like they told you first.
They told me first, and it'd been 3 years, and the economy was collapsing. Right. It's the financial crisis, 2008. So, that started in 2007. So by the time I'm late 2007, I'm getting indicted. The banks are failing all over the place. It's not, people say the 2008 financial crisis because in 2008 is when they bailed them out. But they've been failing for 6 months to a year. So anyway, by the time I get, they've got bigger fish to fry than little Matt Cox and a bunch of his little cohorts, But everybody had always cooperated. The first time I got in trouble,
But why would you try to cooperate on them, Matt? And you was the one that was out there doing the crime.
they don't cooperate against me. They were everybody was committing crimes.
So what you tit for tat?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm worried about me. We could spread.
No, if you was worried about you wouldn't have been paying that man $500 and
They're talking about he'd already gone and did his time. They're 25. They're trying to do 26 years here. We can get Travis. You can do 4. You can do 4. You can do. Let's spread this around.
You wasn't trying to do that 26 by yourself.
Hell no, I was ready to cut everybody's fucking throat. I realized. Here's the thing: the first time I got in trouble, you know what my lawyer told me? I paid him $75,000 for him to plead me guilty. You know what he told me though? I gave him $75,000. He said, "Listen,
$75K.
$75K,
And it was a federal.
Federal. So he said, "Listen," he said, somebody had wore a wire on me, and he'd already talked to the prosecutor, right? He already talked. Matter of fact, the person that wore the wire on me, Gretchen Zayas. Shout out to Gretchen Zayas and Pete Zayas.
You see him? You see him to this day?
No, I know. I don't ever see them. I've never run into them. But I'd be perfectly polite to them. I'd be nice to them.
Yeah.
But they're the kind of people that they've rebuilt their lives, and I'm sure that
So you forgive them?
Yeah, I have no problem with that. That's fine.
Yeah, I forgive them too.
That's fine.
I don't have a problem with them.
So
nice
what happened was, anyway, whatever. I won't get into it because people are going to screaming at me. It's not about you, Cox. I get it. So, but they had wore a wire on me. I got in trouble. I got 3 years. But when I went to my lawyer and I paid him the $75,000 to plead me guilty, he said, "Listen," he had already talked to their lawyer, who let him know, that they've got a wire on your guy. These guys are going to testify. Like, you can't go to trial with this. So he was like, okay. So he said, $75,000. I plead guilty and try and keep you out of prison, which was such bullshit because there was no dollar loss in that case. So anyway, he said, but here's the thing, Matt. He said, I can get you a pretrial intervention. I go, well, what's that? He said, if you cooperate, he said, from what I understand, from the FBI, he said, they think you're running like a mill. They think you're just cranking out fraudulent loans, and you got about 10, 12 guys working for you. I go, right. And he said, if you will work with the FBI, he goes, if I was you, I would go get 10 of the most egregious files that your brokers have committed, bring them here. We'll meet with the FBI. I can keep you from even being indicted because I hadn't been indicted yet. It was just a complaint. He goes, I can keep you from even being indicted. He goes, you work with them against those brokers. You don't even have to go. He said,
did he keep you from being indicted?
No, because you know why? I was fucking an idiot. I watched The Godfather and I thought, you don't snitch. And I was
You
like,
don't, Matthew.
stop. So there's no street code. It's over. So I sat there and I went, you know what's so funny is that most of the women that are on the podcast, like they never cooperate. And like Jess, like my wife, didn't.
The streets are done, man. If you're still out here in these streets, figure out something else to do. It's a waste of time. You're not making no real money out there, and you never will. Listen to the people that are talking right now. They're telling you they've been through it. They had all the money, and then they lost all the money. Just as quick as they got it.
She's ready to go to trial. You know, when my wife is 10 days away from trial, they gave her the witness list. And she saw all of her friends' names on there ready to testify against her. Wow. And she also noticed, she goes, I always thought it was weird because every time one of my co-conspirators would go off to talk to their lawyer for the day, and then they'd come back, they'd immediately move them. She's like we'd be together for 4 months, and then one day they'd leave for the whole day. They had a court appearance, and then the next day they moved them. Well, that's because they took a plea. Yeah. And they're going to testify against you. So when she finally got that list, she said, she went to her lawyer and said, can I get the deal for 3 years? And he was like, oh, they're not going to give that.
That's off the table.
It's 10 days away. They got people lined up. You know what's going on now. Because the whole time she was saying, no, these are my friends. They're not going to testify.
Shit.
So the first time I said, no, I'll take the felony. I didn't have a felony. Take the felony. I'll take the 3 years probation. And he's telling me you're probably going to go to jail. I was never going to go to jail. But even then, I was willing to risk going to jail because I wasn't going to testify. The next case I had, those guys were ready to line up. They're actually calling
to testify.
Then when I took off on the run, they're listed. They're those 12 people. Some of those are those. Some, not all of them, because it had been a few years. But probably 7 or 8 of those guys are those same guys who are now calling and going in and testifying. And I knew right then, fuck that. I'll cut everybody's fucking throat. Nobody gives a. And by the way,
they let you cuss on here?
Yeah.
Oh.
And by the way, when I left, everybody went straight into my house, stole all my shit. And this is what bothers me. I mentioned this to Jess the other day. When my ex-wife went by the house to clean out the house, and we were friends, but we still worked together. When she went by to go ahead and just
what was she? What did she do?
Real estate. She owns a bunch of. It's lucrative. If you marry me, it's typically lucrative.
So they an asset.
Make you a boss.
You an asset.
Yeah, I was an asset in that marriage to her. So she went in to clean out my house. She said it was cleaned out practically, except for some of the bigger furniture. And my dog had been there for 3 days. She said there was poop everywhere. So you came and you stole all my shit. But you left my dog for 3 days?
Poop.
Like you're just like what? Like just pieces, you know.
They don't care.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm done.
They be jealous in the beginning. My mom used to tell me about them girls. She used to always tell me like they so jealous. Like you don't see it, but them girls jealous of you. I never listened to my mother. I used to think it was just the drugs talking.
Right.
To this day, I always tell my kids, like I'm telling you, I told my oldest son, you listen to me. If you don't do nothing else, listen to your mother.
Well, you have the luxury of experience now, and it's funny too because when you go to prison,
They're usually right,
and you're in that concentrated environment, and like I would always hear people like, "Oh, that person's jealous," and I was like, and then you get to prison and you really see jealous people making up stuff about other people, people working.
I ended up getting transferred from out of Dublin because of that. Jealousy.
So what
Somebody
happened?
dropped a dime on my mom bringing me contraband. They transferred me to Waseca, Minnesota.
Anything happened to your mom?
Mm-mm.
They just moved you.
They just moved me.
So your mom's bringing in
contraband every weekend. She was coming to visit me.
So you lost your game time. How much game time did you lose?
I lost all my good time.
But I mean that time. 54 days?
I don't remember. Probably so. Yeah.
I think they can only take 54 days at a time.
Yeah.
But they just keep clipping you and clipping you.
Yeah, because my mom's like, who books you ain't put this money on the phone? Like, that's circumventing the system. I'm like, Mom, like, said to myself, like, she blessed her heart. She didn't know. Like
30 days.
Right.
I just lost 30 days.
Yes. Like, they listened to my phone calls. It was terrible. I was in Dublin. It was terrible.
So where'd you go?
Locked up.
What different prisons did you go to?
Waseca, Minnesota. It was a men's prison at first, and they turned it to women's. So I was in Dublin. I want to say 2.5 years in Dublin and the rest in Waseca. That was hard time. I was away in Minnesota, away from my family. My kids didn't come visit me.
I'll tell you this story because I think you'll get this. So when I was locked up in Atlanta City Detention Center, there was this little guy, little black guy. And I mean, he's probably 5'1", but I mean, jacked. Everybody called him Mighty Mouse. Like he's exactly if Mighty Mouse was a black guy. He's a tiny little guy, just jacked up. Nicest guy ever. And so I was in there for fraud. And so we start talking, and I was like, "What are you here for?" He's like, he'd been to prison before a couple times for fraud. In federal prison, and he said, okay, he said, what happened was his girlfriend had called his probation officer and said, you need to come to the house right now. He's got 10 cars in the house right now. All of them are stolen. So what happened was, and I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I was fucking one of her friends. The friend wanted me to break up with her. I wouldn't do it. So the friend called her. This is the whole fucking thing. Yeah, and he's living in like a $2 million house in Atlanta. What? 20 years ago, that was a hell of a house. And,
absolutely.
In Buckhead. Like, and this is, he was.
A nice area.
Oh, yeah. So I was like, well, I don't understand. Well, how'd you get the cars? So he went back and told me the whole story. And the quick version is that, and he had Mighty Mouse tattooed on him too. Listen, this guy, I would do anything to find this guy. I don't even have to interview him.
Right.
Just to talk to him, because he and I talked for hours. He was super, and he was there on a probation violation.
Anyone knows
But
him,
he said, okay, he said, here's what I've been doing. He's like, and I remember too, he was almost off probation. He was like, I'm fucking only a month away from being off probation or whatever it was. And he had back then used to get in the mail, you would get these convenience checks that were for like a car. Like you've been pre-approved for, purchase up to $100,000 vehicle. And it was a blank check for an auto loan. So you would get in the mail and it'd be from various different banks. I really haven't seen these anymore, but they might still do them. So he said, those checks? I was like, yeah, I get them all the time. He's like, right. He said, so I made up, I think he made up a bank, or he was using an existing bank. And he said they redid the whole check. And he would have either his girlfriend or whoever, somebody he's working with, or he would walk into a dealership, and you'd walk in the dealership and he would look for a car for $100,000 Mercedes, and he'd find it, brand new cars, find it. Okay, I like it. Yeah. He'd test drive it, come back. And he said, I walk into the finance department and they'd say, okay, well, we're get you to fill out finance. And he's, oh, no, I'm already approved. My bank sent me this check thing. I got this in the mail. And this is my bank. And they were like, oh, okay. They go, okay, I got to call the bank. And there's a phone number. They call the bank. His girlfriend would answer the phone,
As the bank.
Yeah, as the bank, whatever, SunTrust, credit union.
Right.
And same thing, rattle off, whatever line, put them on hold, do this. Who is this? Is this the finance manager? Okay. And go through the whole process. I need the VIN number. I need this, make, model, go through the whole thing. Is my customer in front of you? Yes. Can you put him on the phone? Put him on the phone. Yes. He gives the last 4 digits of his social security number, his date of birth. Is it? Yes. Okay. Here, she wants to talk to you. And she would go through the entire thing, and she would say, okay, the transaction is complete. And she would tell him how much, and the guy would say,
so where are he getting these account numbers from?
It's just a blank check. So here's what they would say. What you can do, she would say, they'd say, well, how do we get paid? She'd say, okay, she would give him an authorization code and say, we can either issue you a check, it'll be there within the next 5 days, or you can actually fill out the check in front of you and deposit it. And they would go, okay. And he goes, I remember he told me, he said, you'd be shocked how many of these people actually filled out the check and deposited it. I go, I don't know what's going on. He's like, I get all the paperwork. They think it's been approved. They've got an approval number. They've talked to the bank. They've got the check. They got everything. They've got my driver's license. I go, do they? He's like, no, it's a fake driver's license.
Of course.
It's a fake, whatever, some Russian website or something. They make a copy. They give me the keys, everything. I get in the car and I leave. I'm like, okay, but now 10 days later, you're driving a stolen car. He was like, no. He said, what I've done is 3 states away, he's already had somebody go, and it evolved into this. Somebody else had already gone and gotten the VIN number off the identical vehicle. So they would make that VIN number and crack the windshield. And he actually had the printer, the whole thing, and so on the doors, he would replace it. He'd replace it in the windshield. And they would then take the paperwork, the registration paperwork, and change it on the VIN, or change the VIN, everything. And then they would go register the vehicle. As soon as it got registered, they'd send in that it had been paid off. And the state capitol would issue, I don't know why that was important, but for some reason, that's where they issued it. They would issue a title. So they would issue a title. He goes, so now I got a title of the car. He said, I'm like, yeah, but there's another one. He goes, yeah, but it's 4 states away. It's registered in the other. He said, there's no national at this time. I don't know if there may still not be. I don't know. He goes, there's no national thing, that says where cars are registered. He goes, so now I'm driving around in this Mercedes and I have I have a title that says it's paid off. And then he was selling them to drug dealers. He said, he was like, yeah, I would go. And I was like, why don't you sell? He's like, well, I can't because they're going to issue me cash. They're going to use it, but a drug dealer will pay me $50,000 in cash. And then he had all these stories about the drug
That's
dealers
what
would
I
show up
need.
with like 25 grand and try and strong arm him. And he finally had to get to a point where he would go to pick up the money with another guy that had a gun and he had a whole thing. He's like, you don't want to deal with drug dealers. He's like, they'll try and try and rob you every
Yeah.
time. He's like, especially for 50 grand. He's like, he doesn't look at me. Like, he's like, oh, I'm tiny. I mean, I'm
Right.
not going to get into a fist fight with a guy.
Right.
And he's like, and I'm not going to shoot anybody over 50 grand. He's like, I'm making tons of money. And he was doing this non-stop. So
wow.
yeah, it was like so I feel like that's similar.
Yeah.
Because right, like that's why when I heard your story, I was like, wow, I've never met anybody that did that.
Well, with the diamonds is similar. Because I was diamonds, you know.
Yeah, whole time he was telling that story, I was really thinking about this is the same thing Bella was talking about. It's just a different thing. It's just cars now instead of diamonds. But yeah. So if anyone out there is scamming like this, let me know in the comments or send me a message somehow. Because I'd like some information. You know, I'm a newbie to all this stuff. I've just been interested in it. Never taken part.
No, diamonds, I was making like more money. With the banks, I was making money, but the diamond money was different.
Right. See, Zach would be great right now if Zach was not in jail.
Who is Zach?
Zach's a buddy of mine.
Oh, okay.
And he ran a scam he called Wasn't Me, which was and he had crews of people. But the problem is the people that he was dealing with, they're drug addicts.
Yeah.
So he's like, they were good for 2. He's like, maybe 1. As soon as they got the money, he's like, you're giving them 30 grand. He's like, they're gone.
Yeah.
I think he had 1 or 2 few guys that he's like, they were good maybe 4 times. He's like, so what he would do is, and he had somebody who made fake IDs for him. And here's where Zach would get these people. He would go and sit in the courthouse for first appearance. And so they come by, oh, this guy, he's a burglar, this guy, this. And somebody walk in, they go, oh, he's check kiting. He's been arrested 3 times for credit card fraud. And Zach would write his information down and then bond him out and say, hey, I got something for you. And they go, okay. And so he'd send them, he's like, but they're all drug addicts. So the point is that he'd make a fake ID. He'd have that guy go into 3 different banks because you can only open about 3 accounts. But he was usually what he'd do is everybody had 3 IDs. So you can make 9 accounts. He would then deposit a little bit over $10,000. Let's say $10,000 into those bank accounts. And then when they issued the debit card, he would have them clone it, send them the clone, mail it. So they're in, let's say, Ohio, mail it to Florida. He would then go into multiple post offices to the point of sale machine and say, hey, I need 9 $1,000 money orders. And then they'd go, okay, and they put it in and he'd swipe the card.
That's probably why the post office don't take credit cards no more.
Oh.
Only debit.
Well, no, it was a debit card.
Oh, okay.
Because it was attached to $10,000.
Oh, so he used the PIN.
Right. Oh, yeah,
okay.
he has the PIN. The guy opened the account. So boom, he's got it, whatever. Let's say it's however much. Let's say it's 10,000. So he'd call the guy up and say, okay, go into Bank of America. Guy would walk back into Bank of America and he'd say, hey, I need to get out, $1,100 out of my account. And the teller would go, you only have whatever, $900, whatever the amount. And they go, no, I have $10,000. I just deposited like 10 grand the other day, or 9,500, whatever the amount was. And they were like, oh no, it says you just removed $9,000. You go, from where? And they'd go, from a postal, the U.S. Post Office or whatever in Tampa, Florida. And he'd go, we're in Ohio. Like, what are you talking about? And they go, oh gosh, you need to talk to Sally.
Wow.
The bank manager. Bank manager comes, looks into it and goes, oh my gosh, do you have your debit card? I got it right here. And he'd be like, what's going on? And they'd be like, where's my money? They go, don't worry, we're going to put your money back in the account. And that night they put the money back in the account. The next day he comes in and look, he's like, I feel weird about this whole thing. I just want my money back. So he takes the money back. So they've got the $9,000 and they give him his original money back because they think he was defrauded.
Right.
So he just made $9 grand. He's doing that, each guy, he's doing that with 9 accounts. That's $81,000. He would give.
I don't mean to cut him off, but that shit ain't flying these days in 2025. I would love to know what year this was going on because I missed the plane. I missed the boat and I'm mad. Jeez, this is what people was doing? This is how scamming works? Yeah, now I see why y'all got. Now I see why school is just what it is, because the real smart people are doing scams.
Give the guys 1/3 because he said
Holy.
it 1/3 is just to fly you out there. Of course he did. It didn't cost anything near that. He said, but he still it's a lot of setup. He said they get the 1/3. They get their 30 grand or not even 30, whatever. 20 something $1,000 he is, and they disappear because they're drug addicts, and I couldn't get them to come back. Maybe they do another one, and halfway through the next one, and he's renting them cars, renting them hotels, renting them everything. He'd get phone calls from the hotel saying, "Listen, the 2 people you rented this hotel from, they've got the police here, or they're naked in the parking lot screaming at people like, oh, they can't stay here anymore. You have to find someplace else." But he did that. He was making tons of. So it sounds like a similar type, like when you're McDonaldizing it, right? You're turning it into just a mill.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you eventually have to take off. That's why I see Zach needs to be here.
When he get out?
Well, it's not looking good.
Oh.
Well, he's gonna plead. Good, I think he's gonna plead guilty. They're dropping almost all the charges, and he's taking like a felony for time served. He's only been locked up like 9 months. So they'll let him out. He'll immediately go to the feds. And when he goes to the feds,
it's federal because it was
no, it was state.
How did it become federal then?
He was already on federal probation.
Oh, okay.
So he has to go the federal violation.
Oh, yeah.
His federal judge hates him like
he gonna give him the max.
He said the max he can give me is 3 years.
That's not bad.
He goes, so I'm assuming it's 3 years.
Zach, come on home.
Yeah.
And don't do crime anymore.
Not the first. Not the first.
How old is you, Zach? How old is Zach?
He's 56.
Come on, Zach. Cut it out.
No, he's 50. I'm 56. He's 2 years older. He's 50. No, he's 57. He's 57.
No, Zach know better.
Well, not just that. He got out a few months after I got out. And then he was out maybe 9 months and went back to jail, served that sentence, put back on probation, was out another year, back again.
Come on, bro.
Zach you gotta do better, Zach.
Yeah, you can't.
Bella said you gotta do better, Zach.
I have to start calling him can't do right.
Can't do right, yeah. Mr. Can't do right.
You ever mean those guys in prison? There was always 1 or 2 guys that can't do right. Yeah, but I look back and when I hear like the kind of money that Zach would give people and the kind of money like I would give people, and I'm just like, fuck this guy. Of course, there is the Eric Tamargo, James Red. Listen, you don't know my story. I'm gonna send you a link.
Okay.
So I'm gonna tell you real quick.
Okay.
So I'm making synthetic identities, fake people, right? And I'm buying houses and refinancing them, getting $150,000, $200,000 loans, whatever.
Bullshit.
So at some point, one of the title companies gets wise and they're like, something's wrong. Like this person, James Red, somebody had obviously told them this person doesn't exist. So, and I'd already done a closing with this title company. And so they call up and they said, listen, you, Mr. Cox, we're not they say, we're not closing another loan unless James Red shows up. Because what I was doing was going and picking up the package and saying, I'll bring it to my client. And then they'd sign it.
You was?
Yeah, I would, because I was a mortgage broker.
Oh, okay.
So I'd bring it back to them with a copy of his driver's license, and they'd notarize his stamp and notarize his signature. And then they give me the checks. And I'm selling them the house, or I'm the broker or whatever. I'm the mortgage broker. I'm involved in the transaction. So they give me the check and I leave. Sometimes the checks are broken up into different companies. For whatever reason, they're giving me the checks. Like, they trust me. Well, now they realize, like, somebody has called them and said, James Red doesn't exist. And they've never really seen him. All they have is a copy of a driver's license.
Right.
So the title person says that unless this guy shows up, we're not cutting any more checks. There's no more closings. So I'm like, fuck. And I went, okay, well, and actually the person that told me was a broker involved in the transaction. She's like, what are you going to do? And she's like, we can go to another title company. I said, no. I said, he's going to have to show up. And they were like, how? I said, well, I got a guy. And here's what I had been doing was I would make the fake IDs, make the copy of it, and I would just go and I would take a mug shot from somebody I actually knew. Stop. Don't judge me.
I'm listening.
and I would glue it onto, you know,
Cold-blooded.
and make a copy of it because they're just getting a copy.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Copy and paste.
the name of the guy was Eric Tamargo.
Mm-hmm.
And so I call up Eric
Eric.
Tamargo and I said, listen, Eric, I need you, can you come by the office? Sure. He comes by and he would clean, he would do construction jobs for us. He would, you know, whatever. He's just kind of a jackleg guy where he trim, we needed tree trimmed, he'd trim it, whatever. So, okay. So we do the whole thing. And he comes in, he's like, yeah, what's up? And I go, okay, listen, man, I got to explain something to him. I explained to him what I've been doing. And he's like, holy shit. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, how much, what do you know, man, what kind of money are you making? I was like, well, a lot of that money goes back into the properties. Like, I don't make that much money. You know, we're buying the properties, renting them out. We're, you know, which is all bullshit. We're letting them go in foreclosure.
Right.
But I don't want to let him know how much money I'm making.
Everybody,
Exactly.
So I tell him, yeah. And he's like, okay. And I said, I need somebody to go in and sign. I tell him this chick.
How much time did you get, Matthew?
Me?
Yeah.
I did 13 years. I got 26 years.
God dang.
So, I was on the run for 3 years. I was on American Greed, Dateline. I was on, this was before they had Vlad and podcasts. So,
Bro.
what happens, I tell Eric, I need you to go in and sign. And he goes, holy shit. He's like, that's a big favor. I said, I know. And he said, well, wait a minute. He goes, you said they have a photograph, they have a copy of the guy's driver's license, of James Red's driver's license. I said, yeah. He goes, well, they're going to know it's not me. I go,
They think all people look alike.
No. I said, here's the thing, Eric.
You're the person.
I've been using your driver's license photo, or no, I'm sorry. I've been using your photograph from when you were arrested for beating up your wife a couple of years ago. Your domestic violence photo. And he goes, motherfucker. He jumps up. He's like, you motherfucker. He's like, I go, whoa. I said, Eric, listen, the only reason is that I knew if it ever came down to this, you were the only person I knew that had the balls to pull this off. And he goes,
Matt.
He's, yeah, you're right.
Matthew.
By the way, Eric still texts me. He texted me yesterday. So,
Matthew.
so
What the?
yeah. This is the worst. It gets worse. It gets much worse.
Matthew.
What?
So he says, well, I'm not doing it for free. I said, no, bro, of course, I'm going to pay you. I'll pay you. I said, how much do you want? And I remember thinking, if he asked for more than like 10 or 15 grand, like, I'll just go do it myself. I'd never gone in by myself. I'd always sent people.
Said,
I didn't send people. I always just got the packages. So I went, how much? And he goes, you're making a lot of money. I said, bro, a lot of that money goes back in the properties. And he goes, I want $500. $500? I go, are you serious? I said, Eric, that's $500. It's going to be 5 minutes. You just sign some papers. He's like, you're getting a lot of trouble for this. You understand? We're making like fucking
right,
like
exactly.
We're making
That's
like
the underplay for the overplay.
You got to act like.
I hope he sees.
And I was like, well, you got to do it first. I'm not just giving you $500. No, bro. I know you're good for it. I'll go sign first. And I said, okay, cool. So he goes in. I make a fake ID. He goes in.
So do he know to this day how much money you was making?
Oh, he's seen me tell this story.
all right.
It gets worse.
Right.
He goes in. What was really funny,
worse.
the title
keeps
company
getting
chick,
worse.
her name was Mary. Eric and I are sitting there. He had to, it was easy to do the signature, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like a J and then a squiggly line and an R and two Ds. Like, it was so easy. So he's sitting there, and suddenly Mary comes walking out, and she goes, Mr. Cox, I don't know why you're here. And I said, well, for the closing. And she goes, I told you, unless James Red shows up, I'm not doing it. And I went, and Eric stands up on cue and he goes, I'm James Red. And she goes, hold on a second. She walks off, comes back with a file with the photo and goes,
That's him.
I'm sorry, Mr. Red. Come on in. Damn. Signs, and the checks, when she's cutting it, got all the checks. Again, I would never have it just like one check for $100,000 to me or $150,000. It was always like some money went to this company, these 5 people, this person, whatever.
Right.
So she pulled out a bunch of little stats. She's like, okay, Mr. Cox, here's the checks. And I go, oh yeah, I'm good. I'll drop them off today. Oh, okay, fine. So she now kind of feels silly. Like, I don't know why I didn't believe this guy exists. It's clearly him. He signs perfect. We leave. We get into the car. And he's like, yo, bro, was like, that's a lot of checks. I go, yeah, those aren't my checks, but they're going all over them. You see that? I'm barely making anything.
Right.
He's like, okay. So I count out the $500. He's like, oh, still, it's a lot of money. I was like, yeah, man, let's go to buy more properties. So a week later, we got into the closing. I call him up. Can you come in? Sure, he comes in. Eric, I got into the closing. He goes, Yeah, I've been thinking about it, bro. You're making a lot of money on this.
Right.
There's a lot of people making money. I say, okay, well, how much do you want, bro? And I'm thinking, more than 10 or 15, I'll just do it myself. And he goes, I want $1,000.
Was he on drugs or something?
He was like on or something. He'd been in jail for a minute. And I'm like, $1,000, Eric, it's 5 minutes. You already was so
Matthew, you is wrong. You are so wrong.
And I gave him the $1,000. So Eric got, and he was on federal probation, by the way. He got busted like a year later when I took off on the run. He gets busted for this whole thing. He did like 3 years.
He never told on you?
Of course he told on me. He told on everybody.
Matthew.
But what does it matter? I'm gone. I was on the run. So he goes back.
You was on the run with your family?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I can get another family.
Nope. I'm wrapping it right there. Because Matthew is crazy, man. I didn't know Matthew's story. Now I got to go look into it. That might be the next video we do here. I don't know. But I'll leave the link in the description so you can go finish it yourself if you would like to. I'm not a part of the scam world. I don't know any scammers. But I see I've been learning a lot. Because wow, Matthew, that's how you move? That's how you do business? Okay, I never thought of that. He's opening my mind to some things, you know? There'll be a part 3. I'm going to finish this out. But if I go over Matthew Cox's story, it'll be here. I've been J Stat.